Rationalise means to get rid of the root from the bottom of the fraction. If we have a single term on the bottom, we just simply multiply the top and bottom by that same root. Hence, as we just have root 2 on the bottom, we can just rationalise by multiplying the top and bottom of the fraction by root 2. When multiplying fractions, we just multiply the tops and multiply the bottom separately. On the top, 10 multiplied by root 2 will simply give us 10 lots of root 2. And on the bottom, I've got root 2 multiplied by root 2, which will simply give us 2, because a root multiplied by itself just gives us the number or letter back. Always check whether you can simplify your answer. In this case, 10 lots of root 2 divided by 2. The numbers on the outside, but we know 10 divided by 2 gives us 5 lots. So I've got 5 lots of root 2. For part B, again, I've got a single term on the bottom. Hence, I just multiply the top and the bottom of my fraction by that same root. In this case, I just multiply the top and bottom by root 3. Please note, I don't need to multiply top and bottom by 2 root 3, as rationalise just means to eliminate the root from the bottom of the fraction. Again, when multiplying fractions, I just multiply the tops and multiply the bottom separately. On the top, 15 multiplied by root 3 will give us 15 lots of root 3. On the bottom, I know that root 3 multiplied by root 3, well, a root times itself will just give the number or letter back. So root 3 multiplied by root 3 is simply 3. And then 3 times 2 will give us 6 on the bottom. Again, simplifying where possible, here I can see that 15 and 6 are both divisible by 3. So I'm going to divide top and bottom of my fraction by 3. Well, 15 lots of root 3 divided by 3. Well, 15 divided by 3 is 5. Hence, I've got 5 lots of root 3 on the top. And the bottom, 6 divided by 3, simplifies to give us 2. For part C, if we're asked to rationalise and we've got 2 terms in the bottom of our fraction, we can see we've got 2 terms as they're separated by a plus or a minus. If we've got 2 terms in the bottom, we place that inside single brackets and we multiply the top and the bottom by the same 2 terms at the bottom, but we must change the sign. So as I've got 3 plus root 2, therefore I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 3 minus root 2. You must multiply the top and the bottom by the exact same 2 terms. On the bottom, I can see I've got 2 terms multiplied by another 2 terms. Hence, I've got double brackets. Expanding my double brackets, applying the FOIL method, we know F stands for first. I multiply the first term each bracket together. Hence, 3 times 3 will give us 9. O stands for outside. I multiply my 2 outside terms together. In this case, 3 multiplied by negative root 2 will give us negative 3 lots of root 2. I stands for inside. I multiply my 2 inside terms together. Here, positive root 2 multiplied by 3 will give us positive 3 lots of root 2. And L stands for last. I multiply my last term in each bracket together. I know positive root 2 multiplied by negative root 2 will simplify to give us negative 2, because a positive times negative will give us a negative outcome, and a root multiplied by itself will just give this number or letter. And on the top, I've still got 21 multiplied by, in single brackets, 3 minus root 2. It's good practice when rationalising involving 2 terms to always do the bottom first. Simplifying the bottom of my fraction, i.e. collecting like terms. Here I can see I've got 9 subtract 2, which will simplify to give us 7. I've got positive 3 root 2, subtract 3 lots of root 2. Well, 3 root 2, subtract 3 lots of root 2. They're identical with different signs, so they'll cancel out. The 2 middle terms will always cancel out if you apply the method correctly. And on the top, I've still got 21, and in single brackets, 3 minus root 2. Cancelling any common factors on both the top and bottom of my fraction. Well, here I've got 21 divided by 7. I know 21 divided by 7 gives us 3. So I've got 3 lots, and in single brackets, 3 minus root 2. And that's my final answer, as I've rationalised, as I've got rid of the root from the bottom of the fraction. If I was asked to expand it, expanding a single bracket, I multiply the term directly outside by each term directly inside. So 3 times 3 will give us 9, and 3 times negative root 2 will give us negative 3 lots of root 2. For part D, again when rationalising, if I've got more than one term on the bottom of my fraction, my first step is to place the bottom inside single brackets and multiply the top and the bottom by the same 2 terms as the bottom of my fraction, but I must change the sign. As I've got root 7 minus root 5 on the bottom, therefore I'm going to multiply the top and bottom of my fraction by root 7, change the signs, it's going to become plus, and I keep root 5. And again, I do the same to the bottom. Expanding my double brackets on the bottom of my fraction, I'm going to apply the FOIL method. F stands for first. I multiply the first term in each bracket together. Well, root 7 multiplied by root 7 is simply 7. As I know, a root multiplied by itself just gives us a number or letter back. O stands for outside. I multiply my two outside terms together. Here, positive root 7 times positive root 5 will give us positive root 35. I stands for inside. We multiply our two inside terms together. Here, negative root 5 multiplied by positive root 7 will give us negative root 35. And finally, L stands for last. I multiply the last term in each bracket together. Here, negative root 5 multiplied by positive root 5 will simplify to give us negative 5. As I know, a negative times a positive will give us a negative outcome, and a root times itself will just give the number or letter back. And on the top, I still have root 3 multiplied by, in single brackets, root 7 plus root 5. Simplifying the bottom of my fraction, i.e. collecting like terms, I know 7 subtract 5 will simplify to give us positive 2. I know these two middle terms will always cancel out, as positive root 35 subtract root 35 will give us 0. If they don't cancel out, go back and check as you have not applied the method correctly. And on the top of my fraction, I still have root 3 multiplied by, in single brackets, root 7 plus root 5.